Hello everybody, so today we were talking about IO. I was like 2 minutes into this VOD and then I accidentally opened up Epic Games Launcher instead of Epic Pen and that wasn't fun. So anyhow, we were talking about the loadout. This is like I don't actually know what rank this is, but it's like I recognize some players and they're like Masters GM, so I assume it's like a Masters GM game, so we're going to be kind of nitpicky. Player mentioned they wanted to work on heal priority and their alts, so we'll try to talk about that. I mentioned starting Nimble on Jag Falls is something that I like to do because Jag is a very rotation heavy map, and Nimble really helps with that. Also kind of helps versus Koa because you can get away from his ult a bit easier. Yeah, we were talking about protectors. So this build in general is like interesting, right? So I think protectors I've talked about before in IO VODs. Basically, you will get more healing from using Luna as an actual healing source than as a battery. You can run Sanctum of Faith, and that is 100% enough to keep a team alive. So I'd recommend doing that. Protectors is like, it's riskier, it's not as consistent, and you just get more value from using her as an actual like healing totem, not a battery. Spirit Arrows, I think, is a fine card. I wouldn't really prioritize it over self-sustain though. I think self-sustain should at least be out of two. I'm gonna be real. I think two or three, because if you think about it, it's weird, but like one extra point to double your self-sustain is pretty cool, which is why I think two is good. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just kind of what I think. And I think three is what you really want to go for, but two is doable. One is like, it's fine, but you're just gonna have to out of combat a lot, unless you are putting Luna on yourself a lot, which in that case you're just not getting the maximum value that you could be out of. You're not getting as much value as you could be out of Luna, so that's fine. Again, like Spirit Arrows is fine. You really want self sustain, so you're more free to like take part in fights and do damage and use Luna for your team. Crescent is a cool card in sacrifice builds, but on IO's like the squishy support, and by the time that you actually get to like 15% HP, like how much is 15% HP? It's like, what is that, like 400 HP? 400 HP on IO? Like, you're dead. You are screwed if you're at 400 HP on IO. Like, and an extra dash is not going to save you. So, like, I don't think it's worth it. I think either base HP, Moonlight Garden, which is Moonlight on shots that you hit, or Spirit Arrows, which is lets you move Luna around more. I think those are all good one pointers, but I don't think Crescent is good because I don't think it actually saves you anytime. So let's see, like, I mean, we got some things to look at in this file. Like, this is always what I like to do with builds, is just like see how much value the cards actually get. Like, let's see how much value you get out of Protectors, and if you could get more out of Luna, let's see how much value Spirit Arrows actually gives you. Let's see if more self-sustain will let you do more things. Let's see if Crescent actually makes a difference at all. So, going into team comps, you have double off tank against standard, so you're probably going to look to play pretty aggressive. Other than that, there's not too much that I think is like super interesting here. I think you doing a lot of damage is really good, because it pressures out the Makoa really hard. Did he go half shell? He did. Okay, good job, Desert. If he didn't, then like that just means you can pressure him harder, because Furia can have a tough time keeping up with the amount of healing that a Makoa needs. Plus like 3 other people. So we'll see. I also have not played the skin yet, so let's see how that looks. I like the debate. Everyone rolls out awfully and then immediately goes to the point. I think you're being very aggressive with how you're placing Luna. Like, I don't think you actually want her to be in mid. Here, we'll wait for audio. God, I love audio bugs in this game. So Okay. So I think there's like a few different ways to use Luna. I think there's 3 ways that you really can do it. I think there's what you're sort of doing right now, which is like, I'm going to put Luna in the fight on the objective. And this gets a lot of value. It does a lot of healing, does a lot of damage, sets up stuns pretty easily. But the other team will just kill Luna most of the time. So like Luna's dead right now, right? So it's not really valuable. It's not worth it unless you're in a situation where the other team can't afford to focus down Luna. So it's like, if it's a super messy fight, who's going to shoot a deployable in one of those sorts of fights? But you put Luna on point like very, very early, right? So they had time to shoot her. They weren't under any sort of pressure. But if it is a messy fight, then putting Luna on point like that is good. The other way, I think, is like putting Luna near point, right? So like in that case, it would have been like right here. And this does the same sort of thing as putting Luna on point, but it just keeps her alive and it's a little less effective. The way that I like to use Luna though is, and this is what I think is best, and it's why I don't really like protectors, is you... Well, it's not necessarily why I like protectors, but it's part of it. Is I like using Luna in the offlane. I think it's the most value. I think if you can, like, let's say you have your Ashe, your Tyra, and you pushing right now. If you have Luna on all 3 of you guys, that's a lot of value. Luna's probably doing damage because she's close to people. You're healing yourself, and that's like the most value that I think. Like, you're literally hitting the most people possible if you play aggressive and you put Luna in the offlane. So that is the way that I like to do it. That's kind of unfortunate. I mean, you just kind of peek that. I didn't get audio for drogue shots, so I don't know if you got audio for drogue shots. Because if so, that's understandable, but otherwise you kind of just walked in and died. Like, there's not too much to that other than don't stand here, you know? Or don't put Luna in mid, and then you can call Luna to yourself and have a bit more self-sustain. It is Worm, right? Okay. I guarantee with Sanctum right now, you would be, like, near full. So why does... When I pause, why does the moonlight thing keep going up? What's up with that high res? Definitely shoot the Makoa once for the stun there. He still dies, but... So it's worth pointing out, we can talk about the loadout. Protectors, Sanctum would have been better so far. I don't think there's really a case where Swift Arrows has been super great. You haven't healed anyone for speed yet. Crescent hasn't saved you yet, and I don't think the amount of self-sustain you've had has mattered. Oh, you can also run a range as a one-pointer if you like. Like, you see this? Like, this is how I like using Luna. I think this is the best case for Luna. But then you're getting 0 value out of Protectors, right? You don't need to heal him to full. You see, like, you're basically like out of healing. Dash away. They're gonna have overtime. I wouldn't be on the objective here. Also, your team is on the left side. You're very by yourself. I mean, you just kind of like, just look at where your team was, right? And you were here. Like, there's no way you live there, you know? As soon as you see, like, your team leaving, you need to get out. Whether it's this way early or whether it's this way, like, it doesn't matter. Just get out. Might want to push left side a bit. Your team is pretty aggressive. I like to prioritize offlane. Like, you should be prioritizing offlane because your team is aggressive. I just like to do it most of the time anyways. Ooh, don't run down mid. You were hookable. Like, you see how, like, you're using Luna as a battery, right? But, like, what if Luna was right here? And she's just healing the con, she's healing the Ashe. And that ends up being more, like, overall healing. Like, look at all this Protector's value you're getting, but look at all the 0 Luna value that you're getting. So. That's big. You see, your healing is low. I guarantee it's not like that with Sanctum. At the very least, give it a shot. I know I'm talking about build a lot, but there's just not too much gameplay stuff to comment on. Like your heal priority is like fine. You don't have much healing, so it's hard. And I can't see caught, so it's also hard. I can guess, but she's out of combat. You can leave her and heal your Tyra. You're always low. You are always low. Like this game gets so much easier if you have Sanctum. It's also in the open. Like you're positioned fine. Like your team is hard stacking mid for some reason, so it's really hard for you. But no.
30 seconds left.
It's unlucky you looked away. Yeah. So this is sort of like this is something that's probably worth paying attention to, is that like when your team has to look at your own backline for some reason, whether that's your Ashe dashing out because she's 1 HP, or like what if you guys get dove, everyone's really going to turn on on your backline. People always tend to forget about like the main tank or like the people who are in front during that time, because it gets really messy. But it is worth thinking about, because while you were turned around, like your Tyra got kind of rolled over, and like your Tyra fed, right? She was just kind of standing in the open and mid. But it's still worth like looking, because you can bail that out, especially because like your Ashe was low, but she wasn't in any danger. It's usually worth it to keep people alive over keeping people healthy.
15 seconds.
Look at all that Luna value.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Let me probably reposition Luna. Yep.
2, 1.
And just a random thing, like since you are low on Moonlight, if you do have Moonlight Garden over Crescent, then each shot that you hit does help with the amount of juice that you have, which is nice. So talking about alts, right? This is a situation where you could look for them. Here, I'm actually just kidding. I'm going to talk about Moonlight again. See how Luna's dead? That happens sometimes, right? Like that sucks. Obviously, you should try to not have that happen. Maybe you want Spirit Arrows. Maybe you don't want to put Luna there. Maybe you put her too far up. I think it was fine. I think they just kind of focused on Luna down, which is kind of just like an inherent weakness. There's not too much you can do about that unless you really invest into cards. This is another, point in favor of Sanctum, is when Luna dies, then you don't lose your healing. But looking for ult here, what do I 100% recommend? Your ult sucks. So like when you use I ult, is just like whenever you get a chance to, whenever you can get value out of it. It's not a very good ult. So like if you can find a chance to get value out of it, then do it. You bought Haven free. Haven 2 is more effective HP, and I assume you will be buying Haven at some point this game. Like I think you want to go Haven, or sorry, you want to go like Vet Haven, Vet Haven, Vet Haven, I think is the most effective. I could be wrong on that. Are you gonna buy anything else? No? Okay, well, what are you saving up for?
5, 4,
like
3,
whatever you're gonna buy next, you can afford now, right? So just buy it. Sure. I don't know what your Con and like Zen were doing. I don't know. You didn't know what they were doing either. This is fine. I don't think I would have gone this way. Like you were like, you were over here. Cool. That's great. You saw. Oh God, this guy's in trouble. You dashed over here. I don't know why you rotated inside. I think that's a little weird. I would generally just stay back here. This kind of gives you the most access to both spots, and it should be pretty safe because you should know where they are, where the other team is. Like you only really go in here if you're because like this is dangerous, right? So you only really go in here if your team is fighting both. And right now your team is left here. Your team is left both. Honestly, like both your tanks are kind of in weird spots. Like your, it's weird. So again, I think Luna's just gonna die, right? Like here, I don't know. Let's watch if the Drogue focuses down Luna. No? Maybe? He kind of is. Luna's dead now, right? Yeah! Hey, there we go, you got punished. Your team won the fight. Cool. But... like... the point isn't like your team won the fight, whatever. It's like... what if your con missed ult? What if, like, the Cassie didn't feed? Then that mistake might matter. Yeah, you're doing the same thing again. They have to touch, so this is more of a messy fight, but you could have looked to deny touch with ult too. There's definitely a thing you can do. And especially in that situation where you guys are close. It's not always something you can do, but again, when you can get value out of IO ult, you should, because the ult sucks. The only time I'd really save IO ult is if you're using it like specifically to counter something like an Ashe, maybe. You are, like, I think that you are very stressed, and again, like, just change your build. It gets so much easier, I promise. Walking down mid is not great. You could have maybe ulted there. I think you live, because you are immune to Drogue ult, as far as I know, when you were ulting. You should be. Oh, also, when you were rotating back on the mid fight, you know what really helped? Nimble. Nimble would have been really cool there. You also, I want to say, aren't doing anything. How does the Furia have less damage than you? You're not really doing much. So like, you haven't really needed your self-sustain that that much. But you also just like have not been shooting. You have not been pushing much. Oh my god, I would have ulted. I would have ulted. I thought you were dead. Goddamn, Haven veteran. Haven veteran.
Alright, they're getting hot,
I like that you're following offlane like this though. Okay, well your team, okay, your con should realistically be pushing point, but that's fine. What positioning is cool. So, fight's about to happen, right? That's scary. You should probably be on the left side here. Because, I mean, you can push cart, but I guarantee where you are is about to become very unsafe very quickly. Unless maybe this Makoa dies. The Fury is kind of feeding. Oh. That's... okay. Interesting. So you see, like, if you're on the left side, like, it's kind of better angles, you're more with your Tyra. If you do get pushed, like, your Tyra's right there. Now, like, what if someone decides to drop out of this right door on you? Then you are by yourself. But if you are over here, you have cover to work with. If you're scared of disengages, you can hug back here, because if you're hugging a wall when you get disengaged, you'll just go straight up and down. Just make sure you don't accidentally just like leave the edge just a little bit, because then you will go off. At this box if you want. The tire is like right there.
30 seconds left.
Like that's basically where the offlane is. You're in mid, right? And you generally just prioritize offlane.
Okay, real talk.
Your team kind of did a little bit of falling over though.
15 seconds.
I don't think you have ulted yet.
8, 7,
So like that's partly because I mean you have like what, like two, 3 opportunities. I guarantee you'd have more if you were more aggressive. Like being more aggressive, taking initiative, looking for damage, tends to be like It tends to just give you more opportunities. Because like I think people kind of assume that like supports are there to heal, and like obviously yes they are. Like we play the game, obviously healing good, but like you shouldn't think of healing in terms of like you heal first and then like shoot when you can. Like I think it's literally like you shoot and heal when you can. Or you shoot and then you heal when you need to, I guess would be the best way of putting it. Because your positioning more often than not is putting yourself in a good position to shoot. Because if you're in a good position to shoot and do damage, then that's exactly where your team is, right? Because the rest of your team is trying to be in a good position. The rest of your team doesn't care about healing, right? They're not trying to. This Zin isn't thinking I need to be in a good position to heal my team. He's trying to think I need to be in a good position to like kill shit, right? So if you have that same sort of mentality, if you are also thinking I need to be in a good position to kill shit, then you will more often than not end up on the same page. But if you think I need to be in a good position to heal things, then you will very often just end up sitting back mid heal botting, and that is worse. Like obviously like healing is important. Like I don't want to say that it's not, but like I'm saying like if you want to think, okay, right now, let's say you're a DPS. Let's say like you have another support. Your tower is a DPS, whatever, or your tower is now a support. You're playing like lifelink IO or something, right? Or like sacrifice DPS IO, right? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be here? No, this sucks. This is awful. Where do you want to be? Maybe like over here. Like don't flank. Don't flank. I know you can do that on DPS sometimes. Don't flank on support. But if you wanted to be as aggressive as possible, like sacrifice IO, you might be over here, or you might be pushing up. And like these are so much better. These positions are so much better than back here, right? This is so much better. You have more opportunities for healing. You have more opportunities for damage, and I guarantee you'll get more value out of like your self-sustain because you will actually be taking damage and doing damage and taking more part in the fight and having more impact. Instead, well, that's a really nice signal. We're just kind of in mid and healing, right? And this is cool. I don't know why you're so far up. You know, you're doing heal things, but you could be doing more. This sort of fight right here, by the way, this is exactly where you do want to put Luna on point. It's like that Luna is really good, right? So yeah, partially just like look to be more aggressive, look to do more things, and partially like just try to play in the offlane more. Unless you're like playing to burn point, you have like some backliner that's gonna sit back with you, then like you don't really play mid that often as support, to be honest. If you do want to like look for a proactive ult for some reason, okay, someone said flank left. If you do want to look for a proactive ult, then it's somewhere off the map, right? So like you can try to play in dark and like go for this angle if you really want. Just make sure you angle it to a side, because sometimes they'll get like, I've seen people get like caught on this and like I don't know, it's weird. But yeah. So your Ashe is in, right? Where do you want to like go? What's your team doing? Okay, did she not get it off? Okay, well I don't know what happened there. Like if you were with her, you know, maybe you see, oh heck, my Ashe is in trouble, and you ult the Makoa for a stun or something, or you know, maybe it works out a bit better, and you don't just like lose your Ashe for free. And yes, it's riskier, but like that's sort of like the skill cap, is like, can you get away with this more aggressive stuff safely? Going for it. I would definitely call Luna back, yeah. Out. Get out. Oh my god. That's ambitious. You should have just been out earlier. That's Fury ult, man. That's like your team at a numerical disadvantage. That is you leaving.
Get after him. Enemy dub, look out.
Okay, so let's see. What does you doing more look like? Let's talk about more examples. Like, this is fine, not much is going on right now. Dog on the corner is good. Ow. It's a solo Mako, you should be fine. Your team peels. Okay, cool. Not the end of the world. You should have maybe realized that the left side was open, but that's fine. Your team's on the left side. Cool.
Okay, real
I
talk.
mean, you're just kind of steamrolling them, so you could be doing whatever and you'd be winning. You might want to keep following your Ashe. See if you're here. Luna's keeping care of mid. You're so far back. Like, look at this Cassie, man. Look how aggressive this Cassie is. You think you can hit her 3 times when she was fighting your Ashe? Like, she's gonna take more damage, right? No, maybe? Okay. You could have maybe killed that. Let me dash out. Like, you're not playing badly, right? I want to get that out of the way. I think you're doing some weird things. But, like, you're not playing badly. This is more nitpicky. Oh, no way you... Okay, well, that's unlucky. Don't body block yourself with Luna. Hey, self-sustain. Yeah, she's pushing left. So you could be with her there. And, like, I don't mean, like, literally, like, right behind her, right? But I mean, like, if you are over here, you have healing angle, you have DPS angle. If you play the corner, you're not going to get hooked. It's no hook, you can go.
30 seconds left.
Like, look at what you're doing, right? Look at what you're doing. You are literally staring at your team, waiting for someone to get low so you can heal them. And it's like, that's great, cool, good job. But, like, you can do more than this. Your team is leaving, so you leave. Drogue is behind.
15 seconds. 10.
Good dash.
8.
Dog down, dog down, dog down.
7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. All right, overtime. Now or never, boys.
Good dash, get out. So yeah, like your Luna positioning is getting her killed a lot of the time. Just using corners and stuff. Once again, go off lane, like play face. You could literally dash over in like 0.5 seconds. Play over here, spam down here. Play the box. Your Ashe is gonna fight this, I guarantee it. You're over here, you're healing this, doing damage to the Makoa, healing. Maybe you heal this person. Maybe Luna goes down here because you actually have the range to do it instead of playing all the way back there. So Luna goes down here, and now Luna is healing these 2 people. You're still back here. Look how low the Makoa is. I guarantee if you were in the off lane and you were putting in damage, this Makoa is dead. This push is dead because they don't have an off tank. They can't really push without an off tank. So you see how like you just like looking to do more, looking to do damage, looking to like again, you're not going to do stuff by yourself. Supports generally suck at doing things by themselves, but like when I say do things, I mean follow your team. When your team does something, you enable that and you go with them, right? Instead of sitting back and healing. And your team might still win, but okay, well that's tragic. Okay, yeah, your team might still win because they might do stuff like that, but you know, it gets a lot easier for your team. You put in a lot more value, you have a lot more impact if you're with your team and doing things and enabling what your team is looking to do. You could buy Wrecker, you could buy Rizal. You probably should have saved for Haven Free instead of Nimble Free. That tends to just be a bit more impactful. So. Let's see what your team does.
5,
Team's pushing, right?
4, 3, 2,
Early
1.
dismount, that's not great. So this looks pretty good. Right? I don't think they have Rizal, right? They shouldn't. Yeah, no Rizal. It's a free ult. Especially this Makoa walking down that way. Oh my gosh. So yeah, what I mean by like early dismount is that like you should never dismount unless you are going to do something or you're forced to. If you get dismounted, obviously you get dismounted. But like, if you don't have to, if you don't want to shoot, you don't have to heal yet, you don't want to do any abilities, just stay on your mount. It's free mobility. It's free like nimble 7. It's, you know, it's value. Don't sound for it. Okay. Interesting. So you kind of did ditch your Tyra. I don't know if there's too much you could have done to save her, but just as a general thing. First of all, you didn't hit that ult. Second of all, let's say you hit 5 people with it. What does that do? You know? I don't think that actually does anything. Unlucky. Shoot, get the stun. Nice. You could have kept doing damage there. Keep walking in. Keep walking in. You put dog up. Like, listen. You are... Like, Io is the easiest support to kill, but that does not mean that she is easy to kill. You have Haven 2, Veteran free, Nimble free. Look at your HP bar, right? Realize that you have an ult that makes you damage immune. You have a stun. You have the extra damage from Luna. You have, like, your ult if you want it. You have the help of your Tyra, who's right behind you. Like, you have the self-sustain from lifelink and your self-sustain card. You are tankier than I think you realize. If you actually want to, like, say my team is going aggressive and you want to, like, put some resources into yourself so you can start being aggressive too, then, like, that's fine. That is 100% okay. Like, you could have maybe fought the stroke. You could have put more damage into the barrack. If you didn't waste your ult earlier. Well, barrack was in dome. You can definitely catch that out. You can force the Cassie out. But we're just going to be in here healing. So your heal priority, your ult usage, I think you're not getting as many opportunities to. Okay, so first of all, don't force your ult. Your ult sucks. If you're gonna go for a bad IO ult, like, it's gonna be an absolutely awful IO ult, because IO ult is already bad. If you force it, it's gonna be even worse, right? So you ult when you see an opportunity, right? But you will get more opportunities if, like, you go with your team and you look to do stuff by yourself. Also, if you don't dismount early. Yeah, your heal priority, again, I think fixing your build helps a lot with it, but it's not honestly that bad. Oh my god, the peel. And you live, like, you see that like, you just live through that, right? And, like, you can, like, there's 2 ways you can take survivability. You can take it as the literal meaning, like, I will survive things, or you can take it as, I am now beefy, I'm going to kill you because I'm beefy. So 2 ways you can take that. Luna probably goes on that corner you're looking at right there. Cool, you don't need help with that. He's just dead. Almost got disengaged off. Like, you see, okay. If your team tries to do anything, like, how are you gonna help? Like, your Ashe, cool, whatever, but, like, your team is pushing left side right now, right? Let's look at what your Tyre is doing. Let's look at what your Xin is doing, right? Alright, they're in here. They're fighting backline. This Tyra's like, okay. And you're way back here. Follow your team. Follow your team, enable them, support them. Wow, words. That's like the name of your role or something. Okay, walking down mid like that is just kind of like a, I mean, you think you know you messed up. You took, like, a lot of damage. Dash out, dash out, dash out, go, out, out. Oh my god, there's no way Crescent is actually going to make the difference. Okay, you know what also would have made the difference is positioning better. I'm actually shocked that Crescent got value. Okay, so it saved your life once this game. Fair enough. Same thing, you being on and face would be on the left side there would be very, very good. Like your team's getting ruled, right? And you're like low on healing, and they're walking up for free, and you see how like if there's just a whole other person there, it gets really good. And instead, they're kind of falling over. I don't think that heal priority is bad, but that's like a Zen. You might want to like save some juice to see if like he's not gonna billow or counter or something, because then he gets out of caught, right? Call Luna back when you can, because she's gonna get exploded. That's still in the open. She's just still get exploded. That is unlucky, dude. So this Luna placement is fine, but what I want to point out is what your tower is doing. Your tower is flanking. This is gonna be pretty important. If only she had like some. Oh, yeah, okay. She. Okay. Okay, so Koa pushes into you, which means that your positioning is actually like fine. But it would have been really cool. I don't know why you stopped healing her. Oh my god. Would have been really cool if you were there in the first place. You could all this. He's gonna have to walk into your ult. The barrack, right? I would spend. You are about to lose the video game. It is IO ult. Like, who cares? Spend it. Like, you got someone, right? Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Bang! You're popping off. Cool. Good job. One of those was a kill steal. Oh my god, you got a quad. Okay. One of those was a kill. Basically, two of those were a kill steal. One was Luna, and one was your ult. But the ult was good. And that's obvious. That's, you know, throw it in a montage. But I mean, hey, like you, I think I would have done it earlier. You know. But I mean, you saw the opportunity and you took it.
Capture point pause in 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You might want to pocket yours in there, just because he's like doing the ult things. I like this Luna positioning. You're walking, you're doing damage. Cassie's 1 HP now. Now the Ashe is gonna get the kill easier. Is gonna get the kill easier. Small thing. That mid was pretty well played. I think Luna was fine. Maybe would have repositioned her after. If you play here and you shoot right here, you can get dismounts on people coming out. No reason not to. You could also put Luna farther up. Because, like, why would she be on point with you? When she can be, like, up forward, getting stuns. And by the time anyone gets close to you, you have your relocate up anyways. I think you just done that earlier. And you get it, good stuff. Okay. See, I think that was a very long-winded way of saying I don't like protectors and play for your team, but yeah, hope that was useful. So, IO VODs are always a little interesting. For what it's worth, IO's a very simple character. There's not too much to her. So I think that like what I mean by that, right, is that like if you play like a more complicated support, something like a Damba or a Ying, you will get the same sort of macro tips, right? Like you'll still have those things. So like playing offlane, play with your team, look to do damage, like that's stuff that is consistent across all supports. It's just like playing IO specifically, there's not too much to her. There's like Luna positioning and figuring out the build, and like that's kind of it. But like with other stuff, like I mean, obviously you want to get good at IO, get IO VODs, but like I think there's more to talk about in other support VODs, and you'll still get the stuff that you talked about in the IO VODs. So that's just my POV. Please send me Ying VODs. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.